Topical issues. Is life controlled electricity? We all ask about life, and many of us will always answer, nobody knows what it is. I have also tried to ask the question to people and myself and realized the answer was the same. Then through the little biology knowledge I have, I recognize that in all our activities, tiny energy-giving cells produce energy from chemicals. That is the engine of the cell, mitochondria, which others say is a symbiosis relationship between two organisms, a bacteria and a virus, to produce energy. Those are the energy-giving cells of any living thing. A combination of this energy through our body manifests as electricity. In short, all our functions, all our responses, all our body receptors, including the thoughts, tastes, feelings, and emotions, are pegged on controlled bursts of electric energy. An electrical discharge in the body causes contractions and relaxations in large doses. If a sudden large amount of electricity is injected into muscles, it can cause contraction to a level that it can even break bones. Thus, from our heartbeat to the relationship with the environment, electronic discharges are emitted. The body does its own electrical mapping. That's what many of us do not know. When you sleep on a bed during the night, the body is able to map where your body is and where the edge of the bed is. That's why in most cases, even if you are sleeping on a double-decker bed, when you move towards the edge, there is that feeling that you are going to fall over. So you move on the other side because already the place is already mapped by your body. It creates a safe zone around you. If somebody tries to creep up behind you, there's a certain place where he reaches and you feel there is somebody behind you. He is broken into your electrical field that is guarding your area around. And this also comes into play when entities from the paranormal are in the house. Like those who go to haunted places sometimes for investigations, or if a haunting spirit is in a house, it will interact with your space, it will interact with your environment, the electrical discharges from it and your electrical discharges interact in such a manner that you feel a sudden fear, cold sweat, and you feel very uncomfortable. Sometimes to those who have seen ghosts, it starts like that and then you see the image. Because there is electrical interaction between the two entities. This is how we interact with paranormal entities too. Their presence in a room causes extreme fear, a feeling of cold, sweat, and shivering, all controlled by electrical energy in our body. Most of the things we see, like the colors, is a breakdown in different light emissions. So actually colors are not there. But that abstract view of colors, interpretation, is done by the brain. So that electrical discharge on the receptors in our brain are able now to produce different light waves as colors. Otherwise, colors do not exist. They are abstract. Another thing also is taste and smell. In actual sense, they are non-existent. But interaction between different materials and those receptors produce certain feelings. And then you have smell, certain smells from different materials, and certain tastes. This is a result of the body's electrical interaction and electrical interpretation in our bodies. When one is electrocuted, like there was a time when somebody was electrocuted and there was a video running around when I was in Nakuru accidentally. They were repairing and they were electrocuted, but they didn't burn, they were removed. So in the process of repairing, something went awry and they were hit by large electrical discharges. You would see the fire, then you would see smoke coming from them. So it hits and it produces smoke, and you see the fire and you see the electrical discharge running over the bodies. That's why when people are electrocuted, like those who are being electrocuted in some states in America, others will be killed by electrical chairs, they would burn and produce smoke. And sometimes the electric discharge was strong, it would burn them to ashes. The particles in the nucleus of all materials are held together electronically. Some animals have been created in that their body muscles put out such a large charge that they can discharge currents that can be able to kill a horse, stun a horse, kill a man, stun a man, like the electric African eel, the manta ray of the Amazon, the electric eel of the Amazon, and some other places. They are able to discharge so much electricity that it can kill a person. When they are hunting, all they have to do is move near prey and discharge electricity, and the animal falls dead. They just go and pick. That's their defense, that's their offense. We have seen echolocation, birds flying during the night and they don't hit on anything. They produce squeaks which bounce back as sound. Electronically, we are able to produce those, they are able to produce those squeaks which are sent as messages, and on reflecting they rebound back and are received by their ears. The whale also has that ability. In fact, its range is wider. And I've also seen people who are challenged, visually challenged, who move around and click. And people wonder, when they click, they are able to get a reflection. Once you have, if you are born and you've stayed in that state, you also develop abilities. From that clicking, that sound that comes, you are able to interpret if there is an obstacle, if the way is clear. So echolocation also goes with electricity. Birds that fly are able to target their homes hundreds or thousands of kilometers away by electrical discharges hitting their brains and interacting those electrical discharges with the discharges from the earth, and it's able to locate the north, the south, and whatever. So with those discharges, it's able to track up to where its home is. All these things are electrically generated from the body. The plants also, by photosynthesis and electrical generation from their cells, are able to pick light photosynthesize chemicals and water to produce sugars, carbohydrates, and that is the food other animals eat. Water and chemicals and sunlight being changed into simple sugars, complex sugars, and we have now whatever it creates from those complex sugars, carbohydrates, some proteins, and the other animals pick from there. All these are done with electrical instructions from the body cells, from the mitochondria of the body. In our advancement, technological human advancement, people have been able to produce machines like computers. They have been able to produce robots that are able to emulate what human beings can do. And many will surprise you. They'll perform as many activities almost to the point that humans perform. But this is because of the programming and the electrical discharges in different parts of those machines that make them operate in such a manner, following certain instructions. When people are wiring electricity, there is the live wire. Not the word life. Life. Do you find the closeness? Live wire and life. Some people even call it life wire. And there is the neutron. Neutron is the negative, where the one that permits the electricity to flow in between. And there is the earth wire. The earth wire is the one that is able to trap excess electricity and put it back to earth. Earth is the bigger cell, natural cell, that has the largest amount of electricity and accepts all discharges, including lightning discharges. So there's a lot of electricity in the earth, emanating from the earth into space. Like we saw, there is magnetosphere out there. It's electronic. So this, in essence, are talking of how our bodies work. There are scientists who have been studying small materials. They call them nanomes. Small, tiny particles. Seeing how you can be able to program an item up to the nucleus, or an item up to the cell level, or so that it is able to function as an independent entity. Scientists have been thinking of creating nanomes that can be able to go out and coexist in a symbiotic relationship, working together to produce machines that go discover maybe space or faraway places, that can be able to operate on themselves. And when they reach a certain level, they are able to replicate, get chemicals from other places, similar ones, program them so that they produce other machines. So when you have one machine, it will go to maybe another planet, an asteroid, get the material, produce a similar machine, so that when this one is going for other investigations, that other one goes with the same programming on another destination. There are things that are in progress. So I thought of nanomes. I thought of mitochondria. I thought of the nucleus and nuclear programming, and realized that our bodies work just the same way. Electronically, even my talking now is controlled electronically by the mitochondria that are giving power to the tank, to the mouth, and to the brain to think electronically. But a human being is composed of billions of cells. And all these cells are living entities. Individually, they are alive. And they combine as individual cells to form a big body called man, a body called a butterfly, a body called a tree, a body called grass, a body called a frog, and they are able to interact together in symbiotic relationship and produce all the functions that you see in that living thing. They are programmed in the DNA. DNA, the programming in these living cells. It is a program they follow. They are able to produce, able to replicate. And by the way, I was told our body never goes, is it 6 months or 3 years? I am not very sure. That after every number of months or years, all the cells in the body replace one another. So the reason why we eat is to get the chemical in that food to replace the cells. So our body are continuously regenerating, meaning that they are programming the food material we get into programs similar to their own. In essence, just like the sun is creating, just like the earth is creating, your body is creating continuously. This is something that many of us do not know. It's taking the food, absorbing the material, being able to organize that material so that they are able to produce new cells and eject the old ones, so that after certain months, the food has replaced the cells that were there. You are a new person, but because of your growth or the regeneration of the cells, you have a different look. That's why when you have grown old, the regeneration of the cells is poor. That's why you sag and look like that, but you are still new, just some months old or a few years old. So we are always young, continuously. That's one thing we have never been told. So sometimes surprise somebody by telling him or her, how young are you? And come to realize this from the religious perspective, the biblical perspective. Oh, you are the temple. You are the temple. God has put creative powers in you. You are creating your own body with time. You create, you recreate. You create, you recreate. And with these powers, you are able to use the electricity within you to inject certain vibration, certain wavelengths, in that you can be able to pray and join with the soul of the universe. You can be able to do things that are not normal. Some people can be able to communicate in a psychic manner. This is just electricity, like the phone. One is sending certain electrical waves at a certain wavelength that are received by your brain, and you can hear him talk while other people cannot. So many things that are happening on us. That's why you are told you are the temple of the Lord. God lives in you. Every cell, every power, electrically combined, working in a symbiotic manner, produces you. And with that, you can be able to affect, to influence the electricity around you, because you are surrounded by electricity. Earth produces so much electricity. That's why we produce miracles. We are able to do some things that are out of the ordinary, because you are able, in fact, to affect and effect the environment around you electronically. I was looking at us and wondering, we're able to do all these things, reproduce, because when you are conceived, you are just two cells, one over cell and the other cell. People don't like mentioning those, but from those two combination, which become one cell, the instructions are able to control, command this one to embed itself in the womb and be able to extract the food material that is coming there to produce new cells, and producing them with different instructions, become the ear, become the eye, become the heart, become the leg, become the skin. And when the skin reaches a certain place, when you reach here, you stop growing, you become the cover, you are called the skin. And after some time, you get out. That's why when we watch some of the cells go, all those are instructions being given from what was once a small cell and the largest cell. The smallest cell in the human body and the largest cell in the human body combining. So, just like computers are able to produce everything, the nanotechnology may have given us what God has been telling us in the past books, the way we understood, because we were to be told at a level of our understanding. Nanotechnology is very recent. It can be done chemically, it can be done whatever, but the key thing in everything, even chemical reactions, is electricity. This is what keeps these things working. That's what keeps your computer working. That's what keeps the robot working. I've been wondering on different planets, because planets appear to be having this ability. The stars have this ability, and to surprise you, you have just realized we have that ability. And the plants have that ability. Living things have the ability to create and recreate and recreate and enlarge. It is put within you. You have ability to create. So in light of that, I was thinking in other planets or other stars where things may be different, we may end up having life in forms that we can't even comprehend. For instance, on Earth, we are mostly of carbonic origin. Carbon, like the one that makes coal, the one that makes charcoal, the one that makes those things. But there is a tiny microscopic animal called a tardigrade. A tardigrade can withstand extremes. A totally dry area, it goes like it has died. And when the conditions become favorable, it resurrects again. Tardigrades have been taken to outer space, been exposed as they go to space when people are doing experiments, and been brought back to Earth and survived. Very interesting. So the life form we have, where we use oxygen for combustion, might be in other planets. There may be combustion in such a form, breathing or not breathing. But there's a possibility you can even have a life form without breathing. Just chemicals, ingestion and whatever, and it will be a life form. May have a higher performance. Maybe a programming to the nano material of metals, giving you a life that is metallic, metallurgy. Metals that will be able to perform either like humans or outperform humans or outperform the things we know. They have their life of their own, but we are not able to comprehend because it's totally differently programmed from ours. There is that possibility. Because for us, we started from 2 cells. We are billions of cells operating under different instructions. But the foundation, the basis is one. So that one cell has programmed others to become eye cells, ear cells, teeth, just that. Programming, reprogramming, and recreation. Thought of it and realize that some places that we see, some things that people go searching for because we search a life like our own. Maybe we can even see life, step near life, interact with life, and not know we have interacted with life. Because the programming is different. For instance, I talked of paranormal material. Somebody sees something like mist and you have that feel. First you had the electrical feeling of fear and whatever, and you see something like mist moving, and it moves and screams and does what? It's showing emotions. It is a gas. It's alive. But because we are solid, we expect life to be solid like us. It is. There are times when you look at paranormal videos, you find something like a mist or something like a shadow moving and carrying things, knocking them on other things, or very strong forces. Something like plasma moving and destroying things. They happen. They are happening on this earth. They have energy of their own, minds of their own, and they are able to create havoc, or sometimes create fear, or sometimes just create movement. And sometimes scream in a way that you will hear. That is a scream. So, my take is that life may be emanating from the programming by God, or whatever you call, others call nature, of the material present in such a way that they are able to produce, reproduce. And that's why in the Bible they say, and with his own hands he created. That means programmed. In that now, from that programming, you are able to regenerate. And if the instructions are you will be male and female, you will regenerate male and female. If they are just one species, like I told you, there are species that only have female, you will regenerate as female, and so forth and so on. So, to our answer, because these are theories that come from everywhere. What's life? To me, it's a programming by God, the entity of the universe, or the largest entity, to program to the nanomaterial elements of its choice, in a programming of its choice, that they're able to replicate, do everything possible within the programming with the electric control within them. The electric force gives them the light. I guess that is the breath of life that we are told, and he breathed life into them. That is my take for now.